Hope you guys like detective books, because I have another Nate the Great book called Nate the Great Saves the King of Sweden. I, Nate the Great, am a detective. My dog Sludge helps me. I solve easy cases and hard cases. Sometimes I solve strange cases, especially for Rosamund. But this summer, Rosamund was in Scandinavia. There would not be any strange cases to solve. That is what I, Nate the Great, thought until I looked in my mailbox. I found a big picture postcard from Rosamund. The picture was of a palace. So far, so good. There was a message from Rosamund. Dear Nate, I was in Norway. Now I'm in Sweden. I was in this palace today. I did not see the king. I did not see a detective. I lost something on my trip. I don't know where. I need your help. If you don't help me, I will have to ask the King of Sweden to take the case. Rosamund. P.S. What I lost is very tiny and works only at night. It lives in dark places. It looks smart like you and thinks hard like you, but it has a very long nose, so it probably thinks through its nose instead of its head. But I'm not sure about that. Rosamund was even stranger in Scandinavia. Then she was at home. I, Nate the Great, could not take a case that was thousands and thousands and thousands of miles away. I threw Rosamund's card in the wastebasket. The next day I got another card. Here are the rules. If you don't take the case, call Sweden. Ask for Rosamund. If you take the case, you don't have to call Rosamund. P.S. If you don't take the case, I'll hire that king. I will call him up. I will send him cards. I will knock on his palace door. I will get him. I stared at Rosamund's card. There was a nice stamp on it. There was a man's picture on the stamp. He looked like a king. He did not look like anyone who would want to be hired by Rosamund. I began to think this could be my biggest case yet. It was international. Rosamund had lost something in a foreign country, maybe in a palace. Maybe I could even save the King of Sweden from Rosamund. I wrote a note to my mother. Dear Mother, somebody lost something in Scandinavia. I'm going to find it. I will not leave the neighborhood. I will be back. Love, Nate the Great. This case was a big blank. Rosamund had not sent her address. I did not know what she lost or when she lost it or what country she lost it in. How could I even begin? I decided to start at Annie's house. Annie and Rosamund are good friends. Sludge and I went to Annie's house. Annie was out front with her dog, Fang. I'm on a case, I said. Rosamund lost something somewhere in Scandinavia. What do you know about her trip? That's the letter that he wrote to his mom. I helped her pack, Annie said. What did she pack, I asked. Was it anything that looked smart and had a long nose? Fang looked up. He thought I was talking about him. Annie said, Rosamund took clothes, shoes, boots for hiking in the mountains, toothbrush and paste, a hairbrush, and toys for her cats. Rosamund took her cats to Scandinavia? Yes, she said that the fish taste better over there. What she lost does not sound like anything that she packed. She packed in a strange way, Annie said. She had a special place for everything. She put her left boot on the left side of her suitcase and her right boot on the right side. she put her cat's toy mice in her shoes. Why? She said her shoes could be like mice holes for the mice. They're home. Want to hear more? Not if I can help it, I said. Tell me, has Rosamond written to you? Well, last week I got this photo from Norway. Annie pulled a picture from her pocket. I looked at it. I saw Rosamond and her 4 cats. They were standing in front of a store. It looked like a gift shop. There were t-shirts and mugs and little figures in the store window. Rosamond and her cats were all wearing t-shirts. What, Murphy? Did you hear Murphy groaning? Printed on every shirt was Norge Kierlight Rosamond. I turned the picture over. On the back, Rosamond had written, "This means Norway loves Rosamond," Annie said. Rosamond told me that she was going to buy t-shirts and have something printed on them. Aha, I said. Since Rosamond didn't lose something she packed, she must have lost something she bought. Do you have her address? No, she keeps moving around. May I borrow this picture? Sure, Annie said. Can you find out why Norway loves Rosamond? I, Nate the Great, would need 1,000,000 years to find one clue. Sludge and I went home. I got my magnifying glass. I looked at the photo Annie got from Rosamond. I looked at the little figures in the store window. They were trolls. They had very long noses and hair like a mop. Rosamond had written that what she lost looked smart like me and had a very long nose. I was getting a clue that I did not like. Rosamond had lost a troll. I, Nate the Great, do not look, think, or act like a troll. Actually, I did not know what trolls thought or acted like, but I was pretty sure that they were not detectives. They did not eat pancakes or have a dog named Sludge. I needed more clues. We must go to the library, I said to Sludge. Sludge had to wait outside. I looked up trolls. There was a lot to read. Most of it was folklore. I read that trolls live in the mountains and caves and under bridges in Norway, in dark places, just like Rosamond had written. They love to eat all kinds of berries. They have dark hair, and they never cut it. I left the library. Sludge and I walked home. I had been right about one thing. Trolls do not eat pancakes, but I, Nate the Great, do. At home, I made pancakes. I gave Sludge a bone. He ate part of it. Then he took the rest in his mouth and went to the door. I let him out. He walked around the yard. I knew what he was doing. He was looking for a special place to bury the rest of his bone. I ate my pancakes and thought about the case. I knew that Rosamond had lost a tiny troll. Did she lose it in the palace? I needed to know more. I got Sludge. Come, I said, we must go to Esmeralda's house. Esmeralda always knows things. Esmeralda was in her yard reading a book. Esmeralda, I said, I'm on a case. Do you know why someone would take a troll to a palace? Esmeralda didn't blink an eye. She said, is this someone, Rosamond? Yes, I said, I'm looking for clues about her trip. Well, I know she was going hiking in Norway and then shopping for presents. Then she was going to Sweden. She wanted to see a palace there. In that order? Yes, she was saving the palace for the last part of her trip. Anything else? Along the way, she was going to go to smorgasbords with her cats. Have you heard from her? Yes, she sent me her picture, taken in the palace. She's holding something with long dark hair. Aha! Trolls have long dark hair. Here's the picture, Esmeralda said. I'm using it for a bookmark. I looked at the picture. There was Rosamond in the palace, and she was holding something with long dark hair. Lots of long dark hair. My case was solved. Rosamond had lost the troll in the palace. She had written to me after she had been in the palace. She had the troll there, and then she didn't have it anymore. Now all she had to do was get that troll back. That's a smorgasbord. That's a whole table full of food. I, Nate the Great, knew that when Rosamond came home, I would have to tell her that she had lost the troll in the palace. I knew that she would write a card to the King of Sweden and ask him to look for the troll and send it back. I knew that Rosamond would write a very strange card. I, Nate the Great, felt sorry for the King of Sweden, but a case is a case. I have solved my case. I said to Esmeralda, I never thought that I would solve a case in a palace. I looked at the picture one more time. There was something about it. Something in it, something tiny, glittering, and green, like a cat's eye. I looked closer. It was a cat's eye. Rosamond was not holding the troll. She was holding one of her cats. I gave the picture back to Esmeralda. My case is not solved, I said. Sludge and I went home. Sludge went out to look for his buried bone. I watched him look. He could not find it. He had not been much help with this case. It was time for more pancakes and more thinking. What had I learned? Was there a clue that I had missed? I had learned from Annie how Rosamond packed her suitcase. I had also learned that Rosamond bought presents, and I had figured out that one was a troll, and that's what she had lost. But what if Rosamond didn't lose the troll? What if she put it someplace and forgot? Where would Rosamond have put the presents? In her suitcase to bring home. But Rosamond was moving around, packing and unpacking. So if she put the troll in the suitcase, wouldn't she have seen it? Now, what had Esmeralda told me? That Rosamond went hiking and shopping and to the palace and to smorgasbords. 'What was important and what wasn't?' I heard a scratch. Sludge was at the door with his bone. I let him in. I looked at him and his bone. Suddenly, I knew what was important and what wasn't. I said to Sludge, 'You were trying to help with the case when you went looking for your bone in a special place. You were trying to tell me something.' Sludge wagged his tail. I said, 'I, Nate the Great, have just solved this case. Now all we have to do is wait for Rosamond to come home.'" Two weeks later, my doorbell rang. I opened the door. Rosamond and her cats were there. She was carrying her suitcase. "I'm home," she shouted. "I came here first to tell you that I'm still missing what I lost. You're a terrible detective. I knew I should have hired the King of Sweden." "How could I let you know if I solved your case?" I asked. "I did not know where you were in Sweden." "I'm famous in Scandinavia," Rosamond said. "I'm easy to find." "Open your suitcase," I said. "Why?" she asked. "You'll see." Rosamond opened her suitcase. "See how neat it is," she said. "I put everything exactly where it belongs. You packed all the presents you bought? I got t-shirts and a troll, Rosamond said. I packed the t-shirts, but I lost the troll. I thought I'd packed it, but it's not in the suitcase. I bent down to the suitcase. I picked up Rosamond's hiking boots. I looked inside the left one. It was empty. I looked inside the right one. Something was in it. I reached in and pulled the something out. It had the longest nose and more hair than anything I had ever seen. My troll, Rosamond cried. Now I remember where I put it. Yes, Annie told me you had a plan for everything you packed. You bought this troll and you gave it a home. You knew that trolls live in dark places, so you put it in the bottom of your boot. Right, Rosamond said. It was cozy and perfect. And you forgot, I said. You'd already gone hiking, so you didn't use the boots again. Time went by. You went to smorgasbords, you went to Sweden, and you went to a palace. Then you remembered that you hadn't seen your troll, so you thought you had lost it. I, Nate the Great, say that sometimes things are put in places that are so special that nobody remembers where they are. Sledge had buried a bone in a special place and couldn't find it. Rosamond clutched the troll. Oh, you're so lucky to be such a great detective, because now you can have the present I got you. Rosamond pushed the troll at me. I'm giving everyone else Norway Loves Rosamond t-shirts, but when I saw this troll in the window, I knew it was you. Rosamond closed her suitcase and walked out with her 4 cats. Sludge sniffed the troll. This troll still needs a good home, I said. I went down to my cellar, walked to its darkest corner, and sat the troll down. Enjoy your life, I said. Then I went upstairs. This case could have ended better for me, Nate the Great. But not for the King of Sweden. He was one lucky king. He would never get a card or a phone call or a knock on the palace door from Rosamond. And that is the end. Case closed. Hope you enjoyed it. Love you.